The Dogon, Earth Foreigner Connection by Bert Gumus, August 24, 2023.
The Dogon are a tribe in Mali, Africa, who possess a surprisingly sophisticated astronomical knowledge. So far, no one has been able to explain this phenomenon by earthly means. They are known for their knowledge of the Sirius system, which dates back to 3200 BC, long before scientists discovered it in 1862. But that is not all, because they also knew for thousands of years that the Sun is the central point in our solar system, also that the planet Saturn has several rings, and that the planet Jupiter has moons. They even knew that the Big Bang was the origin of the stars, as well as that the Milky Way is an expanding spiral.
Dogon people in Sirius system.
The Dogons knew that Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, located in the constellation of the Great Dog at a distance of 8.6 light-years from Earth, has a companion star. This companion star was said to be small and of very high density, and extremely heavy. They called this Potolo, and also said that this star circled Sirius every 50 years once in an elliptical orbit. In fact, this information corresponds to today's astronomical knowledge, although Sirius B, as this companion star is called, is not visible to the naked eye. Only in the 1920s Sirius B could be described in detail. In 1970 it was photographed for the first time. The knowledge of the Dogon is not only limited to Sirius A and Sirius B, but it includes other objects like Sirius C, which has not yet been detected by modern science. An investigation by French astronomers in 1999 indicated irregularities in the orbits of Sirius A and B, that there is a third component in the Sirius system whose mass is estimated to be only about 0.06 solar masses, with an orbital period of about 6 Earth years. The religion and the oral tradition of the Dogon say that the Dogon tribe was visited thousands of years ago by extraterrestrial beings from the Sirius star group. These extraterrestrials are said to be amphibious-looking water beings who taught the Dogon about their homeland, astronomy, mathematics, and science, and were called Nomos by the Dogon. The Dogon even said that the Nomo came down from the sky in a loud whirlwind of thunder, smoke, and light. In the 858 contact report, it is reported that from the Sirius system, apart from different kinds of amphibian people, also other human beings, etc., came to the Earth, whose most distant descendants are still here, with what I assume that with it, the today's Earth foreigners are meant.
858th Contact Sunday, the 6th of August 2023, 031 HRS.
I once talked about this many years ago with Asina, the very amphibian woman who, amazingly enough, used about the same language as you are using now. Asina was a very special being and came from a people who called themselves Dogon or something like that, as she also said another name. But I do not remember the context. And she also told me that her very early ancestors were able to cross over into the Ankar universe and then emigrated there, from a planet in our cosmos, from a system that was about 8 or 9 light-years away from Earth and had a large sun that could be seen from Earth. However, there was another small structure near this system that could not be seen from Earth with the naked eye. From this system, that is to say from its planets, various beings, that is to say species or so of amphibian people, but also other human beings, etc., had come to Earth thousands of years ago. And as she knew, their most distant descendants were still here, with whom, however, for some reason unknown to me, they did not want to maintain any contact. And when I think about what Asina said about this, I think about the foreigners and the UFOs that are observed again and again all over the world. I did not want to say that at the time, but now it is perhaps interesting to know for those who want to know where Asina's distant ancestors actually came from. This, as well as what else she said, is interesting, namely that today's descendants of the dog have had no connection with the Dogon, that is to say with Asina's people, for more than 800,000 years. Asina's people, who she said actually call themselves Dogon, according to the ancient term dog, belong to the Pleiarans Federation. And what else is to be said? These creatures, which look like reptiles, are those who, however, as Asina said, have changed tremendously physically and no longer bear any resemblance to those who emigrated to the Ankar universe ages ago. And Asina only came to Earth and to me because she was otherwise already in our universe. And that was because she was supposed to investigate what is happening there today in the system that is 8 or 9 light years or so away from Earth, and is actually the true origin of the Dogon. But now enough of all that Asina told me. Then now this.
856th Contact Thursday, the 27th of July, 2023, 8:42 HRS.
The foreigners have been around for thousands of years and will probably also stay around, but we have always kept away from them for certain reasons, including their home worlds in this cosmos. With regard to them, the whole thing will become acutely topical in America, and enlightenment will be demanded because you together, you father and you, have created clarifications at very early times in the past.
860th Contact Monday, the 14th of August, 2023, 3:03 HRS.
The foreigners, who had been on Earth for a very long time, and whose distant homeland was 8 or 9 light years away from our world, did not realize the presence of the few Pleiarans, whose descendants died out completely in the course of time.
In the 831st Contact Report, it is reported that today's ancestors of the Earth foreigners, who can be observed again and again in earthly airspace with their UFOs, helped the ancient Minoans to produce remarkable buildings and ornaments, etc. In my last article, The Earth Foreigners and the Minoan Religion, I showed that the Minoans undoubtedly worshipped a female goddess who is also seen on many of their ornaments, etc., possibly representing the ancestors of today's Earth foreigners. This Minoan female goddess, also called the solar goddess, is exclusively depicted as sitting, often together with a younger god who is always depicted standing, symbolizing a mother-son relationship. However, the visual formula of the seated goddess and the standing male god is not limited to Crete, but there were also similar belief structures in other cultures and countries, especially in Egypt.
Minoan seal, seated goddess and her son with sign appearing above firmament.
Both the Dogon and ancient Egyptian cultures share a reverence for Sirius, and this is reflected in their beliefs and rituals. The Dogon's Sigui ceremony, held every 60 years, commemorates the orbit of Sirius B around Sirius A, while the ancient Egyptians celebrated the heliacal rising of Sirius with rituals and offerings to the goddess Isis. Additionally, the Dogon believe that their ancestors were spiritual beings from the Sirius star system, and they incorporate this belief into their creation myths. Similarly, ancient Egyptians associated Sirius with the divine and regarded it as the soul of the goddess Isis. These similarities in beliefs and rituals suggest a possible cultural exchange or shared heritage between the two civilizations. The Bozo tribe, related to the Dogon, also knew the same astrological information. They called Sirius B the Eye Star and Sirius A the Throne. In ancient Egyptian culture, the god Isis is represented by the symbol of a throne, while the god Osiris is symbolized by the eye. Isis wearing the throne symbol of her name on her head. Egyptian hieroglyph. Excerpt from the book Minoan Kingship and the Solar Goddess, a Near Eastern coin by Nano Marinatos. A peculiarity of the Minoan double axe is that it sometimes blends with the Egyptian ankh, a sign of life. The ankh has many variants, such as the knot of Isis. The Minoan hieroglyphic script includes the ankh as its own sign. Evans noted that the similarity of the Minoan and Egyptian hieroglyphs, as well as the relationship of the double axe with what he called a sacred knot, and came to the conclusion that it signified life and divinity. Indeed, the solution is very simple if we adapt a Near Easter coin. In Egypt, Syria, the Levant, and Anatolia, the sign of the ankh means life. The today's descendants of the dog have, according to the 858 CR, already since more than 800,000 years, no more connection to the Dogon, thus to Asina's peoples. Also in the appearance, so it is said, they would have changed enormously, since they resemble today, instead of amphibian beings, more reptile, similar beings. In my opinion, everything points to the fact that the Earth foreigners, likewise like Asina's descendants, come from the Sirius star system. The Earth foreigners obviously strive already for a very long time by manipulation of the religions, like for example the Fatima sun phenomenon, etc., to maintain their power of their positions as gods on Earth. Perhaps Asina's people do not maintain any contact with their reptile-like descendants, because they probably in the past cooperated or are still cooperating with the foreigners to reshape the religions after their will. See image above. Namu Enki.
858th Contact Sunday, the 6th of August, 2023, 031 HRS.
Also concerning the so-called UFOs, that is to say, their crews, who were also the Dogon, the gods they let themselves be idolized.
Guest author.